Welcome to Casual Fan Club, the podcast that makes sports make sense. I'm Faith.
And I'm Carly. If you ever felt like sports weren't meant for you, we're here to change that. Whether you're a casual fan or you're just getting started, we break down the conversation in a way that feels approachable, fun, and totally judgment-free.
Each episode, we bring in people who have built careers in sports, whether it's broadcasting, marketing, front office roles, or behind the scenes. They share their journeys, give advice on how to get into the industry, and help all of us feel more confident joining the conversation.
Because sports should be for everyone. Let's get into it.
Yep. And this week, we're taking you behind the scenes of one of the most fan-focused roles in sports, game day promotions.
Baseball might get called a slow sport by some, but after talking with Jeriq from the High Point Rockers, I think we both walked away with a new appreciation for how much actually goes into making a baseball game so exciting, even for the casual fan.
Yeah, and he's the promotions and experience coordinator there, and honestly, his passion for creating fun, inclusive environments is next level. Whether you're a baseball diehard fan or you're just there for some of the Dizzy Bat races, Star Wars nights, activities that he does, he makes sure there's something for everyone. So let's get into it.
My name is Jeriq Bryant. I'm from Goldsboro, North Carolina. I graduated from Winston State University, the class of 2020. If the year kind of rings a bell, that's the peak pandemic. So, there was no sports. I didn't have a graduation. So, I kind of just, thrusted into the real sports world, upon graduation. My connection to sports, I would say it started at a very young age. Just love, just watching it, playing it, and then having older brothers, that played the sport as well. So, sports is always something that's been my passion and love. So, I mean, with it starting at a young age, as a kid, you're always aspiring to be the professional athlete that you see on TV. But, throughout high school, injuries started to come along. And then, unfortunately, I blew my shoulder out twice my senior year. So that's when I kind of had to go back to the drawing board, like, if I'm not healthy enough to be the pro athlete, how do I still stay as close as possible, to the sport or any sport that I'll be working in? And that's when I kind of fell in love with game day operations, because with game day operations, I have the control to kind of excite the fans just as much as the professional athlete would,
Right.
while also providing that great experience as if I was the professional athlete that they were watching.
Yeah, that's awesome. So can you just give like a quick, say it's game day in the life as the promotions and fan experience coordinator?
Okay, let's see. A day in the life. I don't want to, confuse you too much. So I try to keep it as black and white as
Okay,
possible.
perfect.
Yeah, so I get to the ballpark around, 9, 10 a.m. I get to my cubicle, kind of sit out and map out the day. Just kind of do like a little checklist, like, going over the script, make sure I got all the graphics, make sure I have all the equipment, we're going to use on the field. For the game, such as, the Dizzy Bat, the donuts that we used last year for Pop's Mini Donut Dash. And then also getting in touch with my interns and staff members that I have working the game day. So, that's either through email, or I do have a group text, with all of us in it. So, just sending out a quick reminder like, hey, we're playing tonight. First pitch is at 6:35. We're playing Gastonia. This is the theme. If we have a giveaway or not, I'll include that. So really just mapping out, one by one, and then connecting with our control room director, Sean Thompson, just making sure that everybody is on the same page, because, you only get one shot to do a game day a day. Like, you can't start a game day over again. So
Right.
really in the day in the life of a game day for me, just really making sure all my T's are crossed and all my I's are dotted. Just
Yeah.
going over the script, making sure everything is, exactly how it's supposed to. Sponsors are included, reads are right. Make sure the video team has their script. Like, hey, at the bottom of the fourth, we're playing this game on the video board, or if I leave a live camera for Dizzy Bat, just really just making sure that everybody's on the same page.
Yeah. So I interned, I should say, at a minor league baseball team this summer. So we did Dizzy Bat, we did all that fun stuff. So those are some of the things you just mentioned. But are there any other things that you can talk about, like ways that you make a Rockers baseball game exciting for fans who might not know every stat or every rule about baseball?
Got you. So, that's a great question, because growing up, baseball wasn't really like the best sport I was good at. So
Yeah.
I only played it for like 1 year when I was like 12. So, after that game, I told my mom like, hey, I don't want to play that sport again, because I just wasn't good at it. But I still watched it, kind of kept up with it a little bit. So when it comes to the game day experience for a person that really doesn't understand the stats and everything, I try to look at it from a fan's perspective as if I don't know nothing about baseball. So then I think of ways like, how would I inform this fan about what just happened on the ball field, or what is this strikeout? What is, things of that nature. So that's why we
Yeah.
kind of, well, not kind of, that's why we include our video board in our game day experience. So, if you see a player, swing and miss and he walks to the dugout, you see the strikeout pop up on, the video board.
Yeah.
Or, if Bennett Klinsky hits a ball 400 feet and you're like, where's the ball at? It's a home run. So we really incorporate our video board, and also
So,
my PA announcer with, kind of informing fans on, how the baseball game is played, the stats that's taking place and everything of that nature.
yeah, that's awesome. So, what promotions or in-game experience have you seen to be like something super impactful, like either most successful, most fun, just one that kind of sticks out?
That's a hard one. So I'll start with the on field. Um, Dizzy Bat is, I find to say, like our most entertaining,
Yeah,
because what's more funnier than, somebody spinning around dizzy trying to run in a straight circle. Like we've
right.
had, people, full-fledged fall, wipe out, on the turf. Luckily we had nobody, throw up or nothing like that on the field. Fingers crossed, knock on wood. But um I say Dizzy Bat on field is probably our most, entertaining. Not theme night or promotion. Ooh, that's a tough one. Well, I'm gonna go ahead and kind of pull the cat out the bag. This year we're doing a Star Wars night.
Okay,
So
cool.
all of our players will be wearing specialty like Star Wars jerseys. The video board, everything will be Star Wars themed, from the music, the sound effects, the graphics on the video board. It's just a complete, Star Wars takeover. I think that one will be a big hit because everybody knows what, Star Wars is. You might
Oh
not have
yeah,
sat and watched the movies, but you know what Darth Vader looks like. You know what Yoda when you see him. You know
yeah.
Chewbacca when you hear him. So I think that'd be a great one. And then we also did a give like our giveaways are like really big too. Because what I learned from our fans, they love stuff that they can wear and show off. So we did a Hawaiian shirt last year. That giveaway was, it was incredible. We had fans lined up down Gateway Avenue before the gates opened just to get their Hawaiian
No, that's
shirt.
awesome.
Yeah, it was amazing. And then we had a trucker cat giveaway last year as well. That was just as big as the Hawaiian shirt. So really, from a promotional and theme standpoint, it's just really anything our fans can, show off or wear rockers. They're all for it.
Yeah, so there's no MLB team in North Carolina, but you guys still manage to build a loyal fan base. I assume you have some families, many different demographics. Is there like a target audience that you kind of go for to help build that fan
Um,
base?
a target audience, not necessarily. But we do make sure that we're catering to all of our demographics in the city
Mhm.
of High Point. Because like you said, there is no MLB team in the state. So um, that isn't, well, there's no MLB team in the state, but that doesn't mean we shouldn't run ourselves like a professional, MLB
Right,
team. So, we're always trying to target every demographic, of across the board to make sure everybody's included. And also so where we don't just steer people away, like we only want this type of crowd, or not
right,
everybody's welcome. We're a family oriented ballpark, family oriented team. We're a dog friendly park, so every game you can bring your dog. So
oh, that's
we,
awesome. Oh my God.
yeah, so we really just try to make sure everyone's included. Like we don't try to single out a certain target audience or anything like that. Not saying our audience is made up of a certain demographic, but we still make sure to keep everyone included with everything
Yeah.
we do.
Um, so baseball can sometimes get, I don't know, I guess I'd say a reputation of being slow or like hard to get into the game. So shifting a little bit from your job, but as you've probably grown into a little bit of a fan working in baseball from your perspective, what do you think people are kind of missing when they say that? Like, why should they give baseball a shot?
Well, the game is actually sped up now. since the MLB has introduced the pitch clock. So, the game is kind of sped up a little bit more, which kind of keeps the attention on the game.
Yeah.
And with the game being kind of sped up, you have more chances for more highlight plays. So, that's really how I feel like is the whole slow comment thing is I feel like it's just like word of mouth type of thing. Like
Yeah.
if you hear John Doe say it's slow, then Sally Mae is gonna say it's slow.
Right.
But until you visit like an actual ball game or even just watch one now with the pitch clock, the game is sped up more. So you don't have to worry about a pitcher taking, 5 years to throw a pitch or, the ending the switch over. Because now I have up to 2 minutes and 10 seconds in between innings, which in reality sometimes is like a minute 30. So even your in between inning breaks are not as long as what they used to be either.
Okay, gotcha. So was there a moment for you at a game or behind the scenes where you realized like, oh, this is a really great community to be a part of? Like you've talked about you guys have a fan base, you have people lining up down the street for giveaways, or you get to be in front of those fans on the field. Was there a moment where you were like, oh, this is like really a cool thing?
Um, let's see. I want to say after the first month of last season, because last year was my first year ever working in baseball. So after that first month, that's when I kind of realized, like, this is a good fan base. This is a great team. Great front office. So once I realized that, I just hit the ground running with doing the best I can, trying to come up with ideas that I know the fans will love and everything. Since they're showing the staff and players as much love. I want to reciprocate that as well with, everything that I do on the field or as far as giveaways and things of that nature.
Yeah. So last question, if someone has never been to a Rockers game before, what would your pitch be to get them to the ballpark?
If you want a fun family event for affordable price, family oriented ballpark, there's no bad seat in the stadium. If you're looking for that affordable, fun experience for your family or just yourself at all, come down to Truist Point, down in High Point, right off Main Street, 301 North Elm Street to be exact. Endless fun, a lot of highlight plays, good giveaways, great theme nights. It's just all around fun experience. The experience either during the weekday where you just want to unwind after work, or on the weekend where you want to go to a sports game but you don't want to go far. If you're local, you can come right down to Truist Point. Enjoy you a great Rockers game.
Yeah. Okay. Well, we will be keeping up with the Rockers, keeping up with you, and all the great things that you guys are doing for the community.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Absolutely.
Okay, how fun is Jeriq? I loved hearing about how he keeps the vibe alive at Rockers games.
Same. And he made me miss my days working in baseball. I also really appreciated how he emphasized creating a welcoming space for anyone, no matter how much baseball they know.
Exactly. And that's kind of what Casual Fan Club is all about, reminding people the sports don't have to be intimidating. They're community, they're fun, and they're for everyone.
Yep. Big thanks to Jeriq again for joining us, and to the Rockers for being a prime example of what makes baseball so special even when it isn't the major leagues.
So if you've ever felt like you didn't quite get baseball or thought it wasn't meant for you, hopefully this episode shows that there's way more to the game than just stats and strikeouts. It's about the energy, the experience, and about having fun.
And if you're just here for the love of the game, keep showing up, keep cheering, and keep being a part of what makes baseball so special. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast on YouTube and Spotify. Those links are in our bio on Instagram. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Facebook at Casual Fan Club Pod for updates and more fun content. Thanks for hanging out with us for the 5th episode of Casual Fan Club. We'll see you next time.